So I have been using the Moza AB9 force feedback base on this box, but that's not very stable. So here it is, the desk mount for Moza's new force feedback base. I have been waiting for this for a while. Hey guys, Emils here, and we will be trying out the desk mount for the Moza AB9 base, seeing how it mounts and trying it out in the Apache and F-16 in DCS. Alright, let's get into it. In the box you get the mounting hardware and the desk mount itself. The instructions are actually printed on the side of the box. Mounting it was very easy. You just attach these metal parts with some bolts and you can slide the base on. Then you can adjust how high you want it, but make sure that the cable connections are not obstructed. Also, the lower you mount it, you are more likely to not be able to push the stick fully forward because the mount would interfere with the stick. You can also mount it as a tabletop stick, but that seems a bit too tall for me. The build quality of the mount is very good, just like the base itself, and I don't think it will be going anywhere. I think my desk will break before this mount fails. If you would like to check the base or the mount out for yourself, then I have left the link in the description. And making a purchase through this link also will help out the channel. Alright, let's get into the Apache and test it out. We are in the Apache. We are going to be testing out the Moza today. So, here's my stick, and yeah, it's switched. I'm using the integrated force feedback, so it decides itself either it's using telemetry or direct input. And since it's DCS, it's using direct input. Now it is bouncing back. Previously on telemetry it doesn't bounce back, but I have to check DCS special settings. Maybe there's a setting for the Apache. I'm not sure if the Apache is supposed to spring back, but for now it does. So what's really cool, I'll turn on the little overlay here. When you hold the trim button, right, you can just move the stick wherever, and I can trim it out like this. I can trim it out like this. It's just you just release it where you want. Then you press one button and you reset the trim. So that's really cool for helicopter pilots. And unfortunately, currently, I couldn't get any of the helicopter effects to work, like ESL effect, and there's a lot of different ones. And I think that's due to because DCS isn't using telemetry force feedback, and that's a telemetry force feedback setting. So currently, the force feedback only really in the helicopter is just the flight, just the input and some sort of output on force feedback. Really, it's only resistance almost. There isn't a lot of force feedback. Let's get into the air and try it out. Even though I have turned down the spring to 0, it's still there if you switch to direct input, which leads me to believe that that's a game force feedback feature that just bounces it back. Alright, let's set up rockets. We're gonna fire off some rockets here. Add some trucks. As you could see before, I used a little bit of the trim here to trim out the helicopter, fire a test shot where it's gonna land. It's gonna land about there. Alright. That should be some pretty good destruction there. Yep. Alright, we also try out the gun. Yeah, as you can see, the stick is in a different center position now since I trimmed it out, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I can't really say anything about that. And the desk mount, as you can see, is holding up also very well with all the movement. My desk is a little bit shaky now. Oh, there's no reason to put out the gun. Everything is destroyed. Wow, that was some good rocket hits there. It's just the plumes of black smoke. Beautiful. Alright, so yeah, as you can see, the desk mount's holding up really well. Let me reset the trim here. Back to center. I'll take a little bit of a wider shot here as well, where you can see that my plants on my desk are a little bit shaky because of all the moving around. That's probably because my desk is a little bit shaky in general. Alright, so now we are in the F-16, and we're in the F-16 because what's really cool, since the F-16 has I'll turn the pilot off here, a force sensing stick, right? there's a preset with Moza that you can have sort of the same experience. So you like, it doesn't move a lot because it senses the force you're putting into it, sort of. It's not really how the Moza one works, but you know. And this one is the real test from my desk because it's moving quite a lot. So let's try this out. We're gonna taxi over to the runway. So that's why I found it very interesting, and I want to test this out more with the F-16 specifically because the rest of the aircraft are gonna be quite similar. But the F-16, because of this very kind of special stick, it's gonna be very interesting to fly with. All right, let's attempt to take off here. All right, and we're going to be pulling back on the stick. Okay, we're off the ground. Gear up. Let's push forward to level out the flight. Now this is really interesting feeling, because this is when the spring setting is at a 100%. So there is 100% spring back resistance. And it's very hard to like make high G maneuvers. You can also get out of these limitations that the stick has put in. We're gonna climb to a higher altitude here with the F-16 because like actually like this is 100% input right now, and the same goes. This is about 100% input to the F-16, and it's moving about like 2 centimeters or something, maybe 3. But you can break to this as well. But that's pretty much no reason to do that because that's outside the parameters of what you could use. So it's very cool. Now, this thing is probably the hardest thing for this. This is probably the biggest test for the desk mount because of the physical force you're putting into it. Because let's be honest, the stick itself, it's gonna hold, right? But the physical force you put into it, that's the thing that's where the desk mount could fail. But here, it does not feel like it's gonna fail. I think my desk legs are gonna break before the desk mount does. Of course, the sliding feature also kind of scared me at first because it was like, won't it just slide down or something, kind of fall? Maybe that's gonna break off, but it hasn't budged a single bit. So I think it's gonna be perfectly fine with whatever you're gonna fly in DCS World. So the desk mount works well while flying all types of aircraft in DCS. Got any more aircraft you'd like to see tested? Let me know in the comments. We will be testing this base, desk mount, and also other accessories when they come out, so make sure you stay tuned. Alright, that's it for me, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!